And then same thing with this transaction with Aravind. This is the key, Aravind at IBM.com, and then this is the value. Cool. So now that we've seen that, it's time to actually go ahead and query the network. So I have this query script here, and what this query script does is that it creates this new gateway, and that's using this new Fabric network API, and then it sets this membership service provider, and it uses this certificate path and this private key path to create an identity. So what it does is we're creating an identity, and we're passing the private key and the public key, and then we're basically saying, okay, import this identity into the wallet, and this wallet is going to be held in this HFC key store directory. So you see it hasn't been added yet, but once I run the script, it will. And then we basically connect with this identity. So this wallet holds our identity, and the identity name is just a new admin, and that could be anything. And then we actually connect. We get the default channel. So again, if you look at here, this is the default channel. And then the demo contract is what we have installed. So you can see these are all the smart contracts we have installed. Demo contract is the one we're referencing. And at this point, we're going to use this evaluate transaction. So if you look at this Hyperledger Fabric API reference, so we have the Fabric network that we're using, which you can see up top here. And then we have this .contract. So this is after we use Fabric network .get contract. So that's what we did right here. We use Fabric network .get contract, where network is just, we're getting the network of the default channel. And then we use this evaluate transaction. So what is that actually doing? So if we look at evaluate transaction here, it says that evaluate a transaction function to return its results. But the important thing, the function name will be evaluated on the endorsing peers, but the responses will not be sent to the ordering service and hence will not be committed to the ledger. So this is basically a query. So what we do is we say what function we want to call. So we can say query, and then we can pass in the key. So the key is Ginny at IBM.com. So let's go ahead and go to terminal, go into VSCode remote network, then do node query. Cool. So we see we got the response we wanted. If we go into HFC key store, we see we have this new admin. We have the private key for the new admin. We have the public key, and then we have the certificate. And again, if we want to query for Aravind, we can do that too. So you can see Aravind, we gave the name, the number, everything like that. We can also query for a greeting. So this should be something like instantiate was called. Yeah, cool. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you today. So thanks again for watching. So what you learned how to do today is you learned how to take an existing package contract, which you've learned in my previous video how to create, and we've actually connected to the starter plan. So the main steps that we went to connect to the starter plan is we went to the Bluemix UI, and we go ahead and went to, and just to show you that those transactions that I just sent with the query.js file didn't do anything, we can see the block height is still 6. So essentially what we did today is we downloaded this connection profile. We imported that connection profile into our VS Code. So we put this connection profile into here. We went back into our IBM blockchain platform, talked to the certificate authority, asked the certificate authority, our really good friend, to generate some certificates for us. We pasted these certificates in these files called cert and private. And then after that, we went back and we went into our members, and then we added those certificates back into the network. And so we synced those certificates back into our network, and then after that, we went back and added a new connection on our blockchain connections. Added that here, and then we told our computer exactly where those files are held. So for us, it was in this directory. It was in VS Code local network and IBP certs. That's where these 3 files that the network needs to connect to the IBM platform are. And after that, we went ahead and installed our smart contract, which was already packaged. Then we instantiated it by clicking this install code button, and we went over here. and clicked instantiate. And then the last thing we did is we reloaded this network and we clicked on the YouTube demo. And then once we instantiated the contract, we had these 4 functions here. And then all I did was right click, hit submit transaction, and added in my function arguments. And that's all we did. And after that, we saw all of our transactions that were logged. And if we went to the channel that was created, this default channel again, all of our transactions were logged. And the last thing we did is we actually queried. So we went back and we have this script called query.js, and it's using this contract.evaluate transaction, and it's using the smart contract that I wrote earlier, which is basically doing a stub.getState. So what this stub.getState is doing is it looks for the key. So it looks for Arvind at IBM.com or Ginny at IBM.com, because that's what we wrote to the ledger, and it returns that JSON that is written to the ledger. So this is what it's returning. And yeah, that's what you learned today. So you've learned a lot. This is a big step going from developing your application to actually deploying it to the cloud. So this is that step there. In later videos, I'm going to try to go ahead and show you how to connect the front-end UI to this app. So you'll have something like a form to fill out your email, your name, your number, and you have this front end that works seamlessly with your cloud backend. So again, Horia blockchain, slightly working with a slightly bad cold is out now. So thanks again for watching. Take care.